ہمالیہ۔ اے ہمالیہ، اے فصیل کشور ہندوستان، چومتا ہے تیری پیشانی کو جھک کر آسمان۔ تجھ میں کچھ پیدا نہیں دیری نہ روزی کے نشان، تو جواں ہے گردش شام و سحر کے درمیان۔ ایک جلوہ تھا کلی میں طور سینا کے لیے، تو تجلی ہے سراپا چشم بینا کے لیے۔ امتحان دیدہ ظاہر میں کوہستاں ہے تو، پاسباں اپنا ہے تو، دیوار ہندوستان ہے تو۔ مطلع اول فلک جس کا ہو وہ دیواں ہے تو، سوئے خلوت گاہ دل دامن کشے انسان ہے تو۔ برف نے باندھی ہے دستار فضیلت تیرے سر، خندہ زن ہے جو کلاه مہر عالم تاب پر۔ تیری عمر رفتہ کی ایک آن ہے عہد کہن، وادیوں میں ہیں تیری کالی گھٹائیں خیمہ زن۔ چوٹیاں تیری ثریا سے ہیں سرگرم سخن، تو زمیں پر اور پہنائے فلک تیرا وطن۔ چشمہ دامن تیرا آئینہ سیال ہے، دامن موج ہوا جس کے لیے رومال ہے۔ ابر کے ہاتھوں میں رہوار ہوا کے واسطے، تازیانہ دے دیا برق سر کوہسار۔ اے ہمالیہ، کوئی بازی گاہ ہے تو بھی جسے دست قدرت نے بنایا ہے عناصر کے لیے؟ ہائے کیا فرق طرب میں جھومتا جاتا ہے اب، فیل بے زنجیر کی صورت اڑا جاتا ہے اب۔ جنبش موج نسیم صبح گہوارہ بنی، جھومتی ہے نشہ ہستی میں ہر گل کی کلی۔ یوں زبان برگ سے گویا ہے اس کی خامشی، دست گلچین کی جھٹک میں نے نہیں دیکھی کبھی۔ کہہ رہی ہے میری خاموشی ہی افسانہ ہے، کنج خلوت خانہ قدرت ہے کاشانہ میں۔ آتی ہے ندی فراز کوہ سے گاتی ہوئی، ان کی موجوں کو شرماتی ہوئی۔ آئینہ سا شاہد قدرت کو دکھلاتی ہوئی، سنگ رہ سے گاہ بچتی گاہ ٹکراتی ہوئی۔ چھیڑتی جا اس عراق دل نشیں کے ساز کو، اے مسافر دل سمجھتا ہے تیری آواز کو۔ لیلی یہ شب کھولتی ہے آ کے جب زلف رسا، دامن دل کھینچتی ہے آبشاروں کی صدا۔ وہ خاموشی شام کی جس پر تکلم ہو فدا، وہ درختوں پر تفکر کا سما چھایا ہوا۔ کانپتا پھرتا ہے کیا رنگ شفق کوثار پر، خوشنما لگتا ہے یہ غازہ تیرے رخسار۔ اے ہمالیہ، داستاں اس وقت کی کوئی سنا، مسکن آبائے انسان جب بنا دامن تیرا۔ کچھ بتا اس سیدھی سادی زندگی کا ماجرا، داغ جس پر गाज़ा रंगे तकल्लुफ का न था। हाँ, दिखा दे तसव्वुर, फिर वसूह शाम तू, दौड़ पीछे की तरफ ए गर्दिश अय्याम।
बता उस सीधी सादी जिंदगी का राज तू। अल्लामा इकबाल साहब की इस नज्म के साथ हम आज के विश्व पर्वत दिवस, इंटरनेशनल माउंटेन डे कमेमोरेशन, we would like to start it across. We welcome you all who have joined us this evening on this very solemn occasion. This is an occasion whereby we also like to remember हिम्मत है ऊंचा उठोगे, धर्मवीर भारती जी की जो एक चिर परिचित उपन्यास रहा ठेले पर हिमालय, उसमें उन्होंने पर्वतीय जीवन को लेकर जो बात कही, एंड व्हेन ही चैलेंज्ड अपॉन कि हिम्मत है ऊंचा उठोगे, एंड दैट इज व्हाट माउंटेन्स challenge us, inspire us to really rise up our aspirations for all through. Today is a very solemn day. It is the UNICEF Day as well, the UNICEF Foundation Day. Today is the birth anniversary of two very eminent Indians, uh, थिरू सुब्रमण्यन भारती. आज भारतीय भाषा दिवस के रूप में उनकी जन्म जयंती मनाई जाती है. द एंटायर 22 लैंग्वेजेस which dot the official languages in our constitution, the schedule 8 languages. तो भारतीय भाषा दिवस, द मल्टीलिंग्वालिज्म कंपोनेंट, एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत का जो भाव है उसको आज कमेमोरेट किया जा रहा है. Secondly, our President Pranav, whom Rethink India got the great good opportunity to felicitate in 2017 in the August presence of 108 Kulpatis, the vice chancellors all through. And President Pranav was recognized as the education president. And since then, Rethink India commemorates 11th of December as the fifth state, apart from the judiciary, executive, and legislature, and media being the fourth state. We at Rethink India say that academia is the foundational and the foremost fifth estate, which gives the foundation to the other states of our democracy. So this is also a commemoration towards that. आज स्मृति दिवस भी है भारत के दो प्रमुख संगीत विशारदों का. टुडे इज द पुण्यतिथि ऑफ MS सुब्बुलक्ष्मी एंड ऑल्सो द पुण्यतिथि ऑफ पंडित रविशंकर जी. और आज हम यहाँ एकत्रित हुए हैं इंटरनेशनल माउंटेन डे पे. माउंटेन की जब हम बात करते हैं भारतीय परिप्रेक्ष्य में, सो माउंटेन इज ऑल अबाउट द हिमालयाज, एंड वी जस्ट हर्ड द नज्म फ्रॉम अल्लामा इकबाल जी, हु गेव अस द सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदोस्ता हमारा. So we could not find any parallel to this beautiful poem by Allama Iqbal ji in chaste Urdu. Tough to understand and recognize, but then what we were hearing is ki the ramparts of Hindustan, the ramparts of Bharat is Himalaya. And that's where today we would be recognizing a galaxy of luminaries from the nook and cranny of the 13 Himalayan states. भारत के 30 के करीब राज्यों में. एंड टुडे वी आर रियली वेरी फॉर्चुनेट टू हैव द ऑगस्ट प्रेजेंस ऑफ ईच वन फ्रॉम द एंटायर हिमालयन बेल्ट विद पंडित गोविंद वल्लभ पंत हिमालयन पर्यावरण परख पर्यटन प्रशस्ति 2024. And the whole mandate behind is redefining and recalibrating the direction and narratives enabling tourism to deliver on its massive potential. जो वर्ड टूरिज्म ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, they say that tourism is so very important. It nurtures people in terms of education and skills. It nourishes the planet with sustainable infrastructure and green transformation. That's why we have put the moniker of Paryavaran Parak, pro-environmental Paryatan. That is what has to be the mandate out there. And finally, it nurses the prosperity through innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship. So we have a very galaxy, the Himalayan Institute of Alternatives from Ladakh, the Unventured Expeditions from Bangalore, the Food Crafts Institute from Nagaon, Assam, then Oriental Vacations, New Delhi. Then we have a luminary of academicians who are really working so very earnestly to bring to the fore the prominence, the importance of Himalayas for the, I would say, survival and sustenance of Bharatvarsh per se. Professor Sabya Sachi Dasgupta, I would like to invite him to this forum. Dr. Shiksha Swarupa Kar, a very prominent scientist from the CSIR family, the Central Road Research Institute. She is also being recognized on this solemn occasion of International Mountain Day. Professor Niranjan Roy, Neelam Kuma, a young dynamic persona leading from Arunachal Pradesh, Professor Manzoor Shah Sahab, and Dr. Daniel Wahalang. So this is the galaxy whom we would like to recognize from this forum uh, with the Pandit Deendayal Upadhyay, with Pandit Govind Vallabh Pant, Paryavaran Parak Paretan. Pandit Pant, he was the first home minister of the country. He was given Bharat Ratna, and he was the one who led to the reorganization of Indian states on linguistic lines. So आज भारतीय भाषा दिवस जब हम मना रहे हैं, तो he saw that aspect that our regional languages, our entire languages are actually bringing, हम अंग्रेजी में वार्तालाप कर रहे हैं, क्षमा है, पर हमारे जो अष्टलक्ष्मी राज्य हैं, the 8 of them who are the Himalayan states, as we call the prominent ones, they speak more than one language. So it's quite a very ceremonial, I would say, coincidence that Pandit Pant and the Bharatiya Bhasha Divas. So it's quite an amalgamation out here. I think first and the foremost, I would like to invite Professor, I think sir would be joining in a bit later. So let's start with Dr. Shiksha Swarupa Kar, ma'am. She is with us and she has done a very fabulous job, a very fabulous investigation. What she has brought about is developing climate resilient road building technology for the Himalayas. Parvatiya Pradeshon mein we all see that the downpour is so very high, and whatever conventional roads, whatever we have, they really break down so very fast over there. So, as a part of the national Himalayan mission, Professor Carr has really developed a kind of a technology, and we will hear from her the magic what she has created and how we are going to see the all-weather roads. There is a lot of talk about in Devabhumi, Uttarakhand. Prime Minister Modi has been so very personally invested in creating that 4-lane highways till the Char Dham over there, and they call it as a all-weather road. And I think from the technological perspective, Dr. Carr has really given us a breakthrough for that. So we would really like to confer upon Bharat Ratna Govind Vallabh Pant Himalayan Paryavaran Parak Paretan Prashasti 2024 on Dr. Carr. I would request her to receive this token tribute and also explain to the entire audience out here in greater detail about her innovation and Madam Carr.
या थैंक यू सो मच इट वाज एक्चुअली ये बहुत ही बड़ा सरप्राइज था कल मेरे लिए बिकॉज आई वाज नॉट जनरली होता है कि हम कहीं पे अप्लाई करते हैं देन वी गेट सम अवार्ड और समथिंग बट हियर आई वाज नॉट अप्लाइड एंड मुझे आइडिया भी नहीं था व्हेन आई सॉ द मेल फर्स्ट तो लगा कि पता नहीं ये क्या है लेकिन आई रियली थैंक यू ऑर्गेनाइजर्स फॉर गिविंग दिस प्रेस्टिजियस कमेंडेशन और प्रशस्ति टू मी मतलब मुझे मिलने के लिए और जैसे मैंने एनएमएचएस नेशनल मिशन ऑफ हिमालयन रीजन उस फंड से मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट का दो प्रोजेक्ट मैंने किया हुआ है फ्रॉम लास्ट 5 years आई एम वर्किंग फॉर हिमालयन रीजन फॉर रोड कंस्ट्रक्शन फिजिकल कनेक्टिविटी पार्ट सो इन द फर्स्ट प्रोजेक्ट मैंने कुछ काम किया था, जैसे हमारा रोड बनता है, आपने देखे होंगे बहुत बिटुमेन और कोल तार का रोड होता है, तो आपको गर्म करना पड़ता है अराउंड 150 to 160 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड. तो द टेक्नोलॉजी विच वी डेवलप्ड इन आवर प्रोजेक्ट, we don't need to heat the bitumen because we are using bitumen emulsion. एंड जब भी इमल्शन भी यूज करते हैं तो हमें मैनुअली कंस्ट्रक्ट करना पड़ता है, या कोई हॉट मिक्स प्लांट होता है जो स्पेस बहुत ज़्यादा चाहिए, बट हिली रीजन में स्पेस नहीं अवेलेबल है कि आप कोई इक्विपमेंट सेटअप कर सके और फास्ट प्रोग्रेस के लिए. तो फॉर दिस जो प्रॉब्लम है, फॉर दैट वी हैव डेवलप्ड वन मोबाइल कोल्ड मिक्सर कम पेवर, जो कि हम मिक्सिंग और पेविंग हम साथ में कर सकते हैं, रोड कंस्ट्रक्ट कर सकते हैं गरम बिना करे एट लोअर टेम्परेचर ऑल्सो. लाइक जैसे हिली रीजन में आपका पेविंग विंडो जो होता है बहुत कम होता है, बिकॉज आपका ठंडा महीना होता है. तो ठंडे में हम हॉट मिक्स जो टेक्नोलॉजी कन्वेंशनल है, इन दैट वी कांट कंस्ट्रक्ट ए रोड. But in this technology, we can construct at lower temperature, environmental temperature up to 5 degree, 7 degree, up to that we can construct. तो ये आपका टेक्नोलॉजी हमने डेवलप किया है. और उत्तराखंड झिमार में हमने रोड कंस्ट्रक्ट किया था, अराउंड 1 किलोमीटर 2 किलोमीटर रोड कंस्ट्रक्ट करके दिखाया था. देन जो टेक्नोलॉजी है दैट वाज अडॉप्टेड बाय BRO, बॉर्डर रोड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, प्रोजेक्ट दीपक के अंडर में. So now the machine technology is there with under project Deepak, that is मनाली से 150 में अभी रिसेंटली हमने कुछ लेइंग किया था. And Shillong maybe we laid some section. And now the second project, this is all about the first one. And second में हमने काम कर रहे हैं टनल मक. आपको पता होगा टनल इतना सारा हो रहा है हिली रीजन में और हिमालयन में. सो जो भी उसका मलबा निकल रहा है या मक है, वो वैसे भी डंप हो रहा है एंड सारा आपका वाटर मैनेजमेंट खराब कर रहा है. तो वी आर वर्किंग टुवर्ड्स रीयूजिंग द टनल मक फॉर रोड कंस्ट्रक्शन. सो हमने जम्मू से टनल मक, खिलानी साइड से हमने कुछ मटेरियल लिए हैं, और अटल टनल का भी बहुत मलबा है जो हम यूज करके उसका रोड बना रहे हैं. दिस इज ऑल अबाउट रोड कंस्ट्रक्शन, जो कि लो टेम्परेचर में विदाउट मतलब हम ट्राई कर रहे हैं कि पर्यावरण को कम खराब करके वी कैन डू सम कंस्ट्रक्शन एंड ऑल्सो सेविंग एनर्जी एंड रिड्यूसिंग ग्लोबल वार्मिंग, जो कि हिमालयन रीजन के लिए बहुत ही रिक्वायरमेंट है. सो दिस इज माई वर्क एंड वॉट एवर आई एम वर्किंग फॉर द माउंटेन एरिया. एंड ये बहुत छोटा है, हमें सबको मिलके काम करना है सो दैट हमारा माउंटेन सही रहे, मतलब हमारा हिमालयन स्टेट. सो थैंक यू सो मच अगेन एंड थैंक यू. सो
Splendid, splendid indeed, Dr. Kar. Recycling and reusing, we have heard in so many contexts, but how you are using the tunnel debris
yes.
for construction, I think that is truly a remarkable feat. We are really listening, and all our scholars, all our recipients, they would really be enthused with this great innovation from CRRI. CSIR happens to be the prime industrial and scientific research organization, and they are really working for the Himalayan region. Is so very comforting and so very inspiring. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us and sharing your great innovation. The forum is really fortunate to bestow this prestigious honor in you. Recycling की जब हम बात करते हैं, plastic is something which we are all annoyed with, and I think we have got a very fabulous group of unventured expeditions led by Madam Tejaswini Gopalaswamy down south, जहां से हिमालय को देखने का एक अप्रतिम भाव रहता है. भारत में जहां समुद्र है, आ सेतु हिमालयम, जो भारतवर्ष की पूरी आख्या है, फ्रॉम हिमालयास टू द सीज. सो फ्रॉम बेंगलुरु, and we chose to put across this nomination of Tejaswini ji. Bangalore is certainly the innovation capital of the country. We had the great good fortune of Madam Tejaswini Anant Kumar ji, who have a phenomenal establishment which serves food, and they had a zero waste kind of a paradigm. And I think this entire expedition, unventured expedition, has really championed. They've showed that how bottles per person, what kind of a plastic component. A tourist, a tour operator is going so much deep into environmental consciousness, and this is something so very core. Debris is fine, the environmental debris with Dr. Carr is generating, usko hum nahi rok sakte, but plastic, whatever we carry from the planes and we keep on dumping. There was a video very recently that how Mount Everest has been littered with poop for that matter, and now the governments are really working for removing it across. So this is a, I would bring in Tejaswini ji further to explain this entire video. We would like to confer upon the Unventured Expeditions Bangalore with Bharat Ratna Govind Vallabh Pant Himalayan Parak Paryatan Prashasti 2024 for its no plastic policy. But what is the alternative? They have presented a beautiful alternative, and they have a greener alternatives for bottled water. So this initiative we would really like to recognize on this occasion of International Mountain Day. And I would invite Tejaswini ji to accept this token tribute and also explain as to how she got inspired and how she is really handling this great challenge for all of us. Over to Tejaswini ji.
Namaste. Thank you. Thank you for this recognition. I feel very humbled to be receiving this. I'd like to start with a story. Like, I'm going to keep it quick, and I'd rather let our work speak for what we do. But I'm going to start with a little story. My first journey into Leh Ladakh as a traveler, right? I was a solo traveler. I wanted to see Leh and Ladakh. It was in 2011 or 2012. Yeah, 2011 actually. And when I went, I was also a regular bottled water user. You know, I would use bottled water every every time I needed water, I just use it. And ab kya kare, you know, put it in the bin. And then while on my way to one of the monasteries, I saw a landfill in Leh. And it was big. It was a big landfill. And then I was talking to the driver and he said, Madam, ye tourist log yahan aate hain, pani peete hain, and then they throw it. And then ab kya? And then I thought as a tourist, what else can I do, you know? And it started small. I mean, that very trip, I came back thinking, okay, I'm not going to use this bottled water anywhere. And what I want to do is I want to just carry my own bottle wherever I go so I can refill it. So cut to 2014, my business partner Gurudeep and I, we started a company called Unventured Expeditions, which is into bicycle tours in India, Bhutan, and Southeast Asia. And so while on this journey, we wanted to make sure that we wanted to cycle from Manali to Leh. That's what we do. We offer bicycle tours from Manali to Leh. So we realized that if we have to take 12 to 15 people cycling from Manali to Leh, and if they're cycling, ये तो पानी पियेंगे ही, और फिर रोज एक लीटर नहीं, 2 लीटर नहीं, 3 लीटर नहीं, 4-5 लीटर तो हम we will drink anyway. And and that means 5 liters and 5 bottles per person per day, and 15 people for 15 days. We were like, हम तो ये आधा गड्ढा हम ही भर लेंगे. And so that was not something that was very acceptable for us. So we found a way and a product called OKO bottles, जिसमें आप कहीं से भी पानी ले सकते हैं, और वो उसमें ही फिल्टर है. और फिल्टर से it will bring down, you can bring down up to 95% of debris in the water, right? And we also started, while we were on this trip, we had spoken to multiple ढाबा owners, homestay owners along the way to say, अगर आपके यहाँ पानी कुछ आप दे सकते हैं, तो we will definitely take clean water from you. So we told all our travelers ki we don't want to use, bottled water. And instead we will carry water from, wherever that we have stops in along the way, from the streams, and we will have it purified, and we will consume this OKO bottled water. So that trip we did not put any kind, and with an OKO bottle, you can do up to, with one filter, and the filter is replaceable. With one filter, you can do up to 200 refills. And so we did, and we gave these bottles away to our customers, and then we said, up, this is for you to take, and the refill is also cheap, it's not very expensive. And one entire trip, we did not have even today, we do not have any form of plastic waste that we generate, plastic bottle waste that we generate. Honestly, travel itself by ethos is not sustainable, right? If anybody is saying hum sustainable travel company hai, so it's a big lie. But what we can do is we can bring down the carbon footprint that we put in. So we did not just stop at plastic bottles. We said we want to engage with local economy, right? When you work with local homestays and local economies, you support the economy of the region. So that way we said, okay, we are going to work with local people. And we also went ahead and promoted arts and crafts that are made by the local region. Because as a tourist or as a traveler, what you are doing is also you have to contribute to that economy holistically. Not just, so we insist that agar aap लद्दाख जाओ तो वहां एक नया स्टारबक्स खुला है, तो प्लीज स्टारबक्स में मत जाइए, और जाके drink your butter tea in a local home, because that way you are supporting a local homeowner, you're supporting a local cafe, which from who are from that region, and they are building a source of living from the land. So that is just one of the means that we take to travel with a low carbon footprint. So we also do regular cleanup drives in Bangalore and in Mysore time to time. And we recently, we did a cleanup drive in Nandi Hills where we brought down about about eight huge bags of garbage. And so that's been something that gives us a lot of satisfaction. For me personally, this earth is like, this land is like my mother. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मैं अपनी माँ का घर और अपना खुद का घर साफ सफाई करके रख रही हूँ. And that is the only sentiment and emotion that we work with.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think a lot of us are concerned about the issue of pollution, the issue of, I think, the debris, the garbage. But what Unventured Expeditions is really doing about it, I think that's where this whole spirit of Govind Vallabh Pant Himalayan Paryavaran Parak Paratan Prashasti is all about doing something about it, and whatever difference what Unventured Expedition has really made about it, it's worth emulating by one and all. It's so very lovely, and what we loved about the whole submission is the whole scientific approach. This is the kind of a personal pollution footprint we all contribute to the larger cause. So I think this scientific approach is so very important to, I would say, to champion and cheerlead. So very many unventured expeditions really come into the fray, and our Himalayas, our mountains can be really, because it's so very difficult to clean the Himalayan slopes. Once the debris goes into the high steep slopes, it's almost impossible to restore it back. So thank you, Tejaswini ji, for being with us and accepting this token tribute from this forum. We now have a very eminent academician from the Tripura University. We have Professor uh, uh, we have Professor Sabyasachi Das Gupta, who is the professor of forestry and biodiversity, and as a part of the National Mission for Himalayan Studies, a Himalayan Knowledge Network has been created. Like today, the galaxy of people who are out here, they are the ones who are really creating a kind of a transformation in terms of, I would say, in terms of yeah. So, in terms of making a transformation, so this network of ideas, this network of thoughts, this network of interventions, I think a great initiative has been done. I would like to request Professor Sabyasachi Das Gupta sir to accept this token tribute from this August forum and tell us more about this Himalayan Knowledge Network, and especially how Tripura, the land of Tripur Sundari Mata in the Indic pantheon, that is one of the Shakti Pithas, is situated out there, as to what kind of work is being done in terms of Himalayan ecology, in terms of all sorts of Himalayan mission on studies. Over to Professor Sabyasachi Dasgupta sir.
Namaskar, Raghav Mittal ji and Dr. Surabhi. I think yesterday only I got this invitation all of a sudden and then thought what it is. But anyway, it's like, I'm happy to be here with you and share. This particular mission, if you see, I became actually personally a part of this whole network quite later than it was started. It was started by GV Pant Institute itself almost 1 year before I actually Tripura joined in this HCAN as a part of Knowledge Center of HCAN. So what we do actually as a part of this, all these Himalayan states, they have a nodal chapter, and all the chapters, they have something common to do, and then very much state specific reports which are generated out of this whole network. So whatever is of prime requirement for the state, we after negotiation, after discussions and all, we decided to what to work. Like in Tripura's case, we worked with a rubber. Tripura is second largest rubber producing state in the country, and almost all rubber goes out of the state for its maintenance, for its processing. We only generate the raw rubber sheet. So this is one thing that we work with for time for about a 6-7 months time. Though we got a small time window to work for this particular network, but it is everlasting network where we, in time to time, we try to focus our studies. Most of the time, being an academician, we work with the research projects or scientific interventions. So in this whole process, since I also worked almost 14, 15 years in Uttarakhand, and worked almost all the tributaries and streams while working with the hydropower projects and looking into the environmental impact of it, and being a wildlifer. Finally, when I came to Tripura, for 2018-19, joined Tripura Central University, and that time onwards, my connection from understanding the North Himalayan part to this Eastern Himalayan part, I can tell that they are having a completely different geographical situation, ecological situation, as well as the geopolitical interference that that are very much responsible in if you talk about the tourism, if you talk about the conservation and all these aspects. So that way, what we work now most of the time is focusing the IKNs. Recently, what we started as a part of it, we started taking students on for PhD in IKS, Indian knowledge systems, and looking into some kind of Indic studies vis-a-vis the ecological interventions that should have been taken across the globe. As a individuals, I cannot only tell you that most of the time what we in a climate change scenarios, we are all busy in planting trees. Now, being a forestry, studying forestry for so many years, and after being in forestry, I can tell just planting a tree can be as hazardous as any other pollution, because it's not that for everything every tree suits. And one of the biggest pollution that I see nowadays is rampant plantation that happens across the Himalayan zone. There are some trees, specifically planting trees in the higher elevations increases temperature, we know, again adding to the kind of more gases, greenhouse gases, and there are proofs of it. So what I always try to have been trying is to tell that, see, this planting tree is okay, but it is like you have to have a proper medicine for the proper disease, and you cannot use normal one medicine that we use for the fever or something and use it for all purposes. So looking into the biodiversity aspects, my whole focus of this thing nowadays is to understand how our ancient system, they worked in, they lived in harmony with the ecology, environment. And what we are doing now, right now, bringing a lot of exotics, lot of, without understanding which plant to be planted anywhere, we should be able to plant a lot of this. And I think this is why I'm able to get a lot of success. Now people comes for a prescription if they want to reclaim an area, if they want to do plantation in some of the areas. So we should be able to provide a proper, prescription for plantations rather than planting anything and everything. Trees takes a lot of time, 30, 40 years to grow. Now, if after 30 years you realize that, your these plants are creating a lot of problems to human. Like an example I can tell, nowadays is starting of the winter, and a lot of cities has a problem of pollen related allergies. Now, why are from these pollens? And like all pollutions that we see now, normally, uh, SpO2, kind of particle size and other things to look into the air quality indexes and all. But now in Europe, if you go, you will also get a symptom like, what is the pollen concentration, what kind of pollens are there, so that people can take, precautions. This is very, very important for all of us across the country, that typically where people lives, the plant that you are planting, if they have a allergic pollens which can cause a lot of, health related issues, you should be very careful and should not plant those things. I accept your invitation, sir, and I think, though not typically with tourism, but I tell you the tourism which also deals with the roadside plantations and other things, I think I'm able to influence certain at a certain micro level, so that people just don't plant trees for the sake of beauty only, which may be very harmful for people in the coming days. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot for your deep insights and I think a differentiated insight indeed, that all plantation is not so very harmonious, and whatever ecological issues the world is facing, I think the Himalayan region is something which can really present amicable solutions to the entire country, and not just for India but for the whole world per se. So that is the power of the Himalayas. And the mountain living as we see to it. I think HKN is doing a fabulous job by documenting all those Himalayan traditions and most modern studies out there. Moving forward from and one of the questions what Professor Sabyasachi Dasgupta talked about, tourism we chose as a theme because environment is somewhere in today's ease of doing business kind of a narrative is seen a kind of a retarder. Tourism is something which is the brand aspect of it all, which is the projection part of it all. And that is why we embedded Paryavaran Parak Paryatan. And so integrating both, as Sir mentioned about the Indian knowledge systems, and Indian knowledge systems are integral in nature. Samekan hai, samagrata ka bhav hai. I think that is where entire ecological thought process of ours was never in silos. It was all so very integral. साहित्य संगीत और कला सभी का जो समुच्चय है, आई थिंक नेशनल मिशन ऑन हिमालयन स्टडीज एंड व्हाट वी सॉ, डॉक्टर कार इज वर्किंग ऑन द रोड साइड ऑफ इट ऑल, that we need really all weather roads, and Professor Sabyasachi Dasgupta is really giving us deep insights into apt forestations. That's what makes it so very phenomenal. And in this journey, I would now like to invite the Food Craft Institute, Nagaon in Assam, the awesome Assam, and they are being felicitated. They are a food institution and very specific work what they have done. We have Prabal Sarma Bordoloi Sahab, the honorable principal of this institution. And the Food Craft Institute is being recognized for having nurtured 900 plus professionals and entrepreneurs anchored in the sensitive and sustainable Himalayan hospitality, with a special focus on youth, women, and orphans. तो जो तेजस्विनी मैम ने जो बात कही, एक सेंसिटिविटी होना, संवेदना होना, बिकॉज पर्यावरण हमें संवेदना की बात सिखाता है. एंड दे हैव चोजन द थ्री, I would say, vulnerable segments of population: the youth, the women SHGs, and the orphans. With a lot of humility, we would really like to present this token tribute in the name of one of the Doyen Pahad Premi. Pandit Govind Vallabh Pant comes from the Kumaon region of Uttarakhand, the Khoot village area. He rose to be an enormous freedom fighter, the first home minister of the country, and great works he did over there. So I would request Bordoloi Sahab to accept this token tribute and tell us more about what crafts are being pursued at the Food Craft Institute, Nagaon, Assam. Over to sir.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, sir. And I am very grateful that you have honored us with such a prestigious award. And in the Foodcraft Institute, we are working with, as you said, in three variants. One is youth, another is the humans from SSG groups, and the orphan students, orphan people. Basically, I start with the orphan. After 18 plus, they have to leave their orphanage. They have to start living by themselves independently. Yes, after 21 years, there is a threat on the government side, but beyond that, I think their life is more crucial, right? So, being a part of Himalayan region, and we have lots of potentiality in tourism and hospitality. So, why we leave them behind? So, I thought, and one idea came to my mind, and we tie up with different orphanages home, and I approach to them, send their student to us, will train them, and for our future tourism industry. That how we are able to train lots of orphan people, and they are sustainably and happily working in tourism industry here in Northeast as well as in global market. Second, with SSG member, there are lots of SSG group across Northeast. They are involved in different handicraft, local food culture, but they were not into the homestay business. So we initially took lots of hardship. We went villages to villages to create awareness among them and the potentiality of homestay in their own villages. So we train more than hundreds and hundreds of local SSG members, groups, and the villagers to create awareness, and we train lots of SSG the omens, and now they are happily able to sustain their livelihood, along with they are promoting the Northeast tourism across the globe, and they are really doing very nice. And coming to the last point, the youth, definitely today's youth, the future of Northeast and India and global market, right? So we are creating the future manpower for the future tourism industry. And here, being from the Himalayan region, they have already the hospitality in their blood, right? So it's very easy to mold them to make their lives sustainable in the tourism industry. That's how we are doing. We are imparting our skills and giving best training, trying to give best training among these three categories of people as of now. And we are trying to go ahead further with different groups and different places of Northeast as well as India. Thank you for choosing us for this prestigious award, and thank you for everything. Thank you.
Like the awesome Sam is doing a phenomenal work in so many fields, and I think the Food Crafts Institute has encapsulated the entire spirit of sustainable tourism, which is considered to be a major employment engine. That is what Food Craft Institute is catalyzing. It's a tool for economic diversification. I think food as a fulcrum of tourism is something which is so very important. In modern day tourism, it is the sightseeing which is focused a lot. Tejaswini ma'am talked about buttermilk khana, Starbucks ka coffee mat pina. I think that's a lovely catch line, a punch phrase. So economic diversification can be done. contribution to rural development. All our Himalayan states, they are remote and rural areas. Multiplier effect on rural development, the way women SHGs are being brought into the fray. I think that is so very important, that empowerment what Food Crafts Institute has really taken up to. And easy access sector for MSMEs and self-employment. I think the youth palayan ki jo ek problem hai ki people are flocking from say Uttarakhand or the Himalayan states to Delhi or to the plains, and they don't love the environment, and also that is what is being done. And finally, the benefit to the traditionally disadvantaged group. So all these facets, I think Food Craft Institute is really a guiding beacon. And this story, this example has to be really cheer-led all across, because tourism is not just about luxury. It has got limited to hotels and luxury for that matter, travel, rooms, and all. It's an entire, I can say, a catalyst for development and all-round development and anchored development. We are really so very fortunate to have this to have Foodcraft Institute with us to present their lovely story, and hope that this goes far and wide across over there.
Some of our, excuse me, some of our students are also here to series your award here. They are
Okay,
still writing.
we really say our greetings. All of them a great work under the leadership of Bordoloi sir. कोई बोलना
Thank you.
चाहे में से, तो we would like just for 2 minutes if they would like to talk their experience, their backgrounds. If
Yeah,
one of
yeah, yeah.
you would like to talk,
Why
yeah.
not? Why not? Any one of you can speak.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
अपने बारे में बताइए.
Sir, I'm from basically from Kokrajhar. So,
Okay.
and sir, so I'm very happy to take admission in this college in the institute. So it's very good institute, and they learn to about our tourism, about the futures, how we will grow up in this industry, and
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
One is one girl.
Yeah, please.
Good evening, sir. So I'm very happy, to be honest, to come in this institute. I've done a lot of things practically and also theory. Our principal is very nice. Our teachers are very nice, and they always help us. Especially our principal sir, he always used to guide us, and the teachers, they teach us as their own students.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So from Assam, we now move to the land of the rising sun. If we say in our Indian context, the Arunachal Pradesh. We have Neelam Kumaji from Arunachal Pradesh Council of Science and Technology, which is a nodal partner for the Himalayan Knowledge Network. There was a lot of talk before 2014 about the National Knowledge Network, and perhaps the HKN has surpassed in terms of performance, in terms of the intended mandate of a knowledge network for that matter, as we learned from Professor Das Gupta. I would like to invite Neelam Kumaji to accept this token tribute from this August forum and tell us more about the Himalayan knowledge in the land of the rising sun, from the land of Arunachal Pradesh, from where we get our parliamentary minister as well, very dynamic Kiran Rijiju Sahab. So over to Neelam Kumaji for the great good work what Arunachal Pradesh Council of Science and Technology is doing out there.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, loud and clear, please.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Sir, first of all, I am very honored for this award. The Himalayan Knowledge Network, this was a collaborative project between GB Pant, NIHE, and Arunachal Pradesh State Council for Science and Technology. So in the year of 2020 to 21, under this project, we had a workshop to identify thematic areas that need to be catered at the earliest, for which we have invited 40 expert representatives scientists, officers from line department, academician, and NGOs also. Uh, in that meeting, we have identified top two priority that need to be taken care of, which were uh, spring water rejuvenation and biodiversity. For that, the documentation was done by GB Pant, and we have also developed a pool of data from the state chapters that can help the policy makers to make a good policy for for the people living in the mountain area, especially in Arunachal Pradesh.
Lovely, lovely.
So
There's a very lovely compendium which has been
hello.
published by GB Pant NIHE of all the academicians, all the expert people involved in the Himalayan mission studies, National Mission on Himalayan Studies for that matter. Thank you, Neelamji, for being with us. We would also like to felicitate from this August forum the Oriental Vacations and Journeys. Some of our dignitaries, they just could not join in for some lack of time. It was a uh, quickly convened event. So they are promoting only the Himalayan destinations in Nepal, Bhutan, Tibet, and the Indian Himalayas. So that is so very important, and because a kind of a synergy, perhaps if I may request the, I would say the representatives from NMHS, National Mission on Himalayan Studies, Professor Dasgupta, Neelamji for that matter, if they can incorporate the tour operators as well as the outward, the way Unventured Expeditions is doing a phenomenal job in keeping the Leh Ladakh tracks clean. I think platforms like these should also be an official part of NMHS. Maybe you can give a recommendation because they are the ones, they are the partners in taking the studies and taking the interventions further and forward. As Tejaswini ji said that they had bottled water, they had created a kind of a filter, but we have spring water all through our Himalayan states. The first principal approach is why bottled water has to really go up. Why can't we have larger community level filters just for a level of cleaning so that everyone, the local community also starts getting those spring water for that matter. So we really want to accolade the Oriental Vacations and Journeys from this forum. We also, from Jammu Kashmir, we had got the consent, but somehow he could not join in. Professor Manzoor A. Shah, who is really doing Jammu and Kashmir, as in when the name comes in, Dharti Per Swarg, the northeastern states, the Ashtalakshmis are fine, but the land of Rishi Kashyap, the land of, I would say, Shalimar and Nishad Gardens. So we would have loved to hear what kind of interventions are really happening from Jammu and Kashmir. The saffron belt, as Professor Dasgupta talked, that Tripura is the second largest producer of rubber. So how saffron is being grown, what kind of a tourism initiatives are being done from Kashmir. We would have loved to hear from him, but we really recognize his contributions in his absentia. And also from the land of Meghalaya, the highest amount of rainfalls, and perhaps Dr. Carr would need her technology most in the land of Meghalaya because that's where the highest amount of downpour happens. So Dr. Daniel Reggie Wahalang Sahab, and also the first and the foremost Sonam Wangchuk Sahab's, I would say, institution, HIAL. They had confirmed that they would be coming over there, the Himalayan Institute of Alternatives. Now, this is something if for championing a unique mix of Himalayan academics comprising of schools of eco-responsive architecture, energy studies, high altitude desert ecology, and responsible tourism. So, what struck us that they are the ones who are really creating that HR manpower at that scientific level. We all understand that Sonam Wangchuk Saab, his story inspired the Funsuk Wangdu character in the Three Idiots movie. We really expected him to be a part of this August gathering, but nevertheless, this International Mountain Day commemoration, Dr. Shiksha Surupakar, with what kind of poise and commitment all of us are really working towards it. And just for the sake of record, if we can just quickly have a group photograph, if everyone can come on the camera, we can just snatch it across, and any closing words, if at all, we would really like to have as an open forum. with all of us, because this is an enthusiastic, a very special day for that matter. If Nima Karji also can comes in. Uh, yeah, Neelam Kumaji. Yeah. Whosoever is here with us. And any closing remarks? I think Professor Sabyasachi Dasgupta, who was there in Uttarakhand, Devbhumi, his experience out here, how the mountain living per se can be promoted in the mega cities for that matter, which with the, I think, lot of HERA coming in place, the highways, information ways, roadways and airways. How can the professionals can come stay over there? There is a lot of issue of palayan. People are moving out from these geocultural locales, while the European countries, the Alps, people are flocking over there. How we can remodel that? How we can bring? I think that's the last question I would really like to pose. Bordoloi Saab is doing a great work in keeping the community inside. I think that's the last International Mountain Day commemoration question. I think Professor Dasgupta has so much of inputs over there. So with that, we will close. Professor Dasgupta, if you would like to respond to this.
It's talk about the development, in a mountain perspectives. I think the definition has to be, be very different from the cities as we understand. If you look into the resource use pattern of Alps, and I have been to all these Alps and to Switzerland and all this Austria, German part of it and all. But if you look into these European the places that you have referred to, those places, the kind of resource use that they take place is mostly localized resources, not really making much of carbon footprint. I mean, we really need to work on looking into the carbon footprint. Whatever there are less carbon footprint related to the development, I think this is first and foremost important thing. If you look into the architecture of the houses that we are now building concrete, the carbon footprint, if it is 100, if once you make the same building in the mountain, the carbon footprint would be 300% more because of the places. So we never keep those things. We think it's just equally harmful whatever you do in the source or bring it from the outside. So first of all, using the local. Second is I understand working with the environmental impact issues. I do understand that we have a lot of border issues, our security perspectives, but still, if you when you refer to the palayan and other thing, it is not always because of the resource crunch situation. One way you see the people are living, but at the same time, people from the cities and other places, they are coming back, buying those lands, using those for the wonderful tourism, homestay. A lot of things that can be done. So I think that's also, even the worst is in the people who are living these mountains and going after some time they come back and work as a labor in their own fields. I mean, this is really pathetic to see. It's all happening because definitely we have some lack of understanding what we can do, what are the potential of mountains. So in spite of developing mountain like a cities that we understand, I think we should develop mountain like a mountain. I mean, there's really less disturbance to the landscape and keeping less interference to the same time. We can definitely, we have to go back to mountain to live. I mean, otherwise the environmental ecosystem services that we are getting now at a free of cost from these mountains in terms of fertility of the soil or rainfall or anything, we have to pay a lot in coming days. I think that's one thing I can convey. So be eco-friendly in terms of getting and understand the ecosystem services which we get at free of cost. You told refer to the spring water. I mean, you see now that this is the biggest challenge in all Himalayan zones. We are drying up our springs, and it is proven that because of the road construction, we are breaking the aquifers. Thereby, we are actually drying up the springs, otherwise, which were feeding our villages for years and years and years. So these are the reasons. Anyway, I'm really grateful that you've given me
Thank you.
the
I
chance to
think
speak.
Sir made a very important point. I think Dr. Carr would really like to come in because she builds roads for the I would say, mountainous region. Just her closing remarks, sir said that road construction somewhere breaks the aquifers for that matter. So perhaps that can be factored into the road technology, construction technology as well. Dr. Carr, and
There is actually always a debate that whether Himalayan में हमें रोड बनाने की जरूरत है या नहीं है, because recently I was in a meeting, development authorities, there also it was a discussion point whether we should prepare a road on Himalayan or we should not. But road तो बनाना ही है because we need connectivity, but we have to see sustainable construction practice. जो कन्वेंशनल मेथड है वो नहीं करके जो सस्टेनेबल कंस्ट्रक्शन प्रैक्टिस है विच इज नॉट गोइंग टू हैम्पर ecology or environment, in that way we have to prepare the road. Like tunneling is a major issue, whether we should do tunneling or not. But जो भी tunneling हो रहा है, but the muck material whatever we are getting, that we have to properly manage. That is very much essential. Otherwise अभी जो भी मलबा है या जो भी टनल muck है, that is going into the river and आपका river bed close हो रहा है. So that is one issue. So we need to manage tunnel. It's not only for the road construction. In many way we can manage how to dump our tunnel mud. अगर रोड में हम कंस्ट्रक्ट कर रहे हैं तो वी आर सेविंग नेचुरल एग्रीगेट, जो हम एग्रीगेट यूज कर रहे हैं वो भी सेव कर सकते हैं. दैट इज देयर. और बाकी we are having lots of new technologies, like we are working towards porous pavement where we can conserve water. So that is also one part. By using a porous pavement, there are many new technologies, sustainable technologies where people are working. Those technology we have to adopt to have a proper conservation of our Himalayan region, ecology and environment. And so thank you so much once again for giving me an opportunity here. So thank you so much.
I think
Yeah.
it was a lovely forum. It was an integral discourse as well as to how the Himalayan region, which is जो कि अल्लामा इकबाल साहब ने भी कहा, the ramparts of India, which is protecting not just from the cold blizzards of Siberia, but also giving us the unique ecology, our monsoons, the whole ecological aspect, and ecology पर ही employment economy is out there. I think Professor Das Gupta has really given us a leeway into the whole framework out there. Today is also the great commemoration of Gita. Today happens to be the Gita Jayanti as well. It was on this day, the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Shri Krishna gave the clarion 700 shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. And I think a lot of values, what we saw from Bordolai Sahab at Food Crafts Institute and others, the sensitivity, a lot of values. So this is, we just wanted to commemorate the Bhagavad Gita Jayanti Divas as well by just showcasing the 26 virtues, what Sri Krishna talked about it. This is not religious, this is universal in nature. And with this, with folded hands, we really say our pranams to each one of you who have really doing great work for the Himalayas, which are also, I would say, the treasure trove of the Bharatiya Sanskriti. All our rishis, munis, the Himalayas, हिमालय के ऊंचे ऊंचे पहाड़ों पर ही हमारा योग पल्लवित हुआ, और वहाँ की तराइयों में, वहाँ के अरण्यों में भारतीय संस्कृति आज भी पुष्पित और पल्लवित है. So on this solemn occasion of International Mountain Day, we really pay our humble tributes to each one of you who are really contributing and taking the mountain spirit further and forward. And जो धर्मवीर भारती जी ने कहा, हिम्मत है ऊंचा उठोगे, and each one of you are really, you have a lot of daring, lot of fearlessness. The first virtuosity what Sri Krishna talks about, you have that daring and you have the lack of conceit, you have that manita, very humble way you are furthering and forwarding each one of your, with gentleness, with modesty, with your steadfastness, with patience and fortitude. It's not something so very fast happening. I think Dr. Carr, what a fabulous way of reusing the debris out there so that it doesn't affect the ecological aspect. We have to find modern ways and mechanisms. So thank you, each one of you. And Dr. Surbi, any closing words? I would really like to invite you. Yeah.
Yeah. So, this is to commemorate and celebrate the International Mountain Day. पर्वत हमें गर्व सिखाते हैं. जो पर्वतों के ऊंचे नीचे रास्ते हैं वो हमें जीवन में अपने रास्ता बनाने की एक प्रेरणा देते हैं. तो it's a call, clarion call for all the mountain states, the Himalayan states, to bolster the ecosystem here in the mountains and remembering the great Himalayan state and like Vaji, that we to have pride in our mountain region. Pride.
हिमालय
First, thank you so much, everyone, joining in.
اے हिमालय اے فصیل کشور ہندوستان چومتا ہے تیری پیشانی کو جھک کر آسمان تجھ میں کچھ پیدا نہیں دیرینہ روزی کے نشان تو جواں ہے گردش شام و سحر کے درمیان ایک جلوہ تھا کلیم طور سینا کے لیے تو تجلی ہے سراپا چشم بینا کے لیے امتحان دیدہ ظاہر میں کوہستاں ہے تو پاسباں اپنا ہے تو دیوار ہندوستان ہے تو مطلع اول فلک جس کا ہو وہ دیواں ہے تو سوئے خلوت گاہ دل دامن کشے انسان ہے تو برف نے باندھی ہے دستار فضیلت تیرے سر خندہ زن ہے جو کلاه مہر عالم تاب پر تیری عمر رفتہ کی ایک آن ہے عہد کہن وادیوں میں ہیں تیری کالی گھٹائیں خیمہ زن چوٹیاں تیری ثریا سے ہیں سرگرم سخن تو زمیں پر اور پہنائے فلک تیرا وطن چشمہ دامن تیرا آئینہ سیال ہے دامن موج ہوا جس کے لیے رومال ہے ابر کے ہاتھوں میں رہوار ہوا کے واسطے تازیانہ دے دیا برق سر کوہسار اے ہمالیہ کوئی بازی گاہ ہے تو بھی جسے دست قدرت نے بنایا ہے عناصر کے لیے ہائے کیا فرق طرب میں جھومتا جاتا ہے اب فیل بے زنجیر کی صورت اڑا جاتا ہے اب جنبش موج نسیم صبح گہوارہ بنی جھومتی ہے نشہ ہستی میں ہر گل کی کلی یوں زبان برگ سے گویا ہے اس کی خاموشی دست گلچین کی جھٹک میں نے نہیں دیکھی کبھی کہہ رہی ہے میری خاموشی ہی افسانہ ہے کنج خلوت خانہ قدرت ہے کاشانہ میرا آتی ہے ندی فراز کوہ سے گاتی ہوئی کوثر و تسنیم کی موجوں کو شرماتی ہوئی آئینہ سا شاہد قدرت کو دکھلاتی ہوئی سنگ رہ سے گاہ بچتی گاہ ٹکراتی ہوں چھیڑتی جا اس عراق دل نشیں کے ساز کو اے مسافر دل سمجھتا ہے تیری آواز کو لیلی یہ شب کھولتی ہے آ کے جب زلف رسا دامن دل کھینچتی ہے آبشاروں کی صدا وہ خاموشی شام کی جس پر تکلم ہو فدا وہ درختوں پر تفکر کا سما چھایا ہوا کانپتا پھرتا ہے کیا رنگ شفق کوثار پر خوشنما لگتا ہے یہ غازہ تیرے رخسار. اے ہمالا داستاں اس وقت کی کوئی سنا، مسکن آبائے انسان جب بنا دامن تیرا. کچھ بتا اس سیدھی سادی زندگی کا ماجرا، داغ جس پر غازہ رنگ تکلف کا نہ تھا. ہاں دکھا دے اے تصور پھر وہ صبح و شام تو، دوڑ پیچھے کی طرف اے گردش ایام.